Well, I think our show rating went down to G because Seth didn't curse this episode. So that's kind of
wow.
Be listened to by 13-year-olds.
Let's settle at PG. I don't think we need to go all the way to G.
Cartoon characters and everything.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to Dots, Lines, and Destinations. It is episode 108 on Thursday, April 28th, 2016. I'm Steven Seagraves, and today I'm joined by Seth Miller and Foz Mahmood. Hey, guys.
Hello there.
How you doing?
How's it going? Doing really well. How are you?
I'm all right. I think Foz is in Austin. Seth, are you in New York?
No, when this goes out, I'll be in Las Vegas, but I'm in New York right now, so I don't know what the answer to that question
The
is.
Freddies is going on. I forgot about that.
Indeed they are.
The Freddies are coming. The Freddies are coming. Grab your muskets and defend the Republic. The Freddies are coming.
I have to say
I don't know where that came from. I'm sorry.
My favorite part of the Freddies is not the award winners, but the shenanigans that go on leading up to the award announcements.
Just like funny stuff going on, like with the airlines and the hotels, or other people?
This organization.
Oh, kind of like the show. Got
exactly. The show is actually not the awards portion. It's actually the rest of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I can neither confirm nor deny that there has been gambling on who would be the winner of each event or each award at the tables at various years' shows.
Now I'm a little sad I'm going to miss it.
Which is to say, I can absolutely confirm it. I made money and it was spectacular.
Oh, man. Today's dots are Tokyo Haneda and St. Helena. The lines are Atlanta Brussels and Atlanta Istanbul, as well as a bunch of lines for JetBlue. And the destination is Austin, since Foz is there. And then we have some other news that we're going to get to. So
it's JFK Istanbul.
JFK Istanbul. Dang. See, I got to get the notes right to get the show right, and I just didn't do that.
I probably should have read the notes that you sent to us in advance to say, hey, does this look good, or can we record it, instead of just writing bach, sure, whatever. Sorry about that.
It's okay, one-man band here. It's okay. It's cool.
So I have a question.
In retrospect, you did actually write it that way. My bad.
Are Haneda St. Helena dots, is that a new announcement that Delta has made?
Yeah, and then immediately canceled.
It's their fourth slot application for Haneda service.
Exactly.
So Tokyo Haneda, there's a bunch of stuff going on because they made everyone reapply, right? Like the
DOT.
The DOT said you can't just, if you already have a slot to Haneda, you don't get to necessarily keep it, so you have to reapply. And so everyone's reapplying, as well as applying for new slots, causing a little bit of a ruckus.
Fracas, perhaps?
Yeah. So Delta applied for 3, right?
Yeah.
What are the odds of them getting that? And it's just weird.
It depends on who you believe. There are some people saying that because ANA and JAL are also there, it will essentially, the DOT is semi-obligated to give Delta more slots so that in the immunized joint venture world, it's a little more fair of a competition. Now, most of the people saying that are people from districts where Delta has hubs and or represent Delta interests, but people are saying it.
Yeah, but if you're running, United, let's say, San Francisco Haneda is the only slot they have right now. Yeah, that's great. You can connect to everybody, ANA. You can connect to a bunch of places on ANA. But wouldn't it be better to have, like, say, Newark to Haneda and San Francisco Haneda to connect everybody? I mean, that kind of covers the West and East Coast, because if you're leaving the U.S., if they keep the current night slots, it's terrible timing, right?
Well, so there's 4 today that are night slots. There will be 6, and I think it's not going to be until next spring schedule, so starting March of next year, 2017.
Okay.
Just based on when they get allocated and how the timing works for applying to get, even after the DOT gives you authorization to fly, you still have to actually get a specific time that you're supposed to land, and those applications would have to have gone in before the new slots will be assigned or something like that for the winter schedule, so I think they can't happen until the summer schedule of next year, which starts in the spring. So it won't be for a little while yet, and everybody gets to keep what they have until then. But with the new schedule, it's 1 nighttime flight and 5 daytime flights, and as opposed to 4 now. So no matter what, 2 new slots were going to get assigned.
Yeah.
The decision to make everybody apply new both does and doesn't make sense to me, in the sense that I feel like the airlines who have been operating these flights at the less ideal times kind of were doing them as a lost leader, or hoping to hold on to the slot long enough until this change came about. And so the DOT in some ways may have, pulled a fast one on them by not letting them keep the slots with the change.
Yep.
The flip side of that is all of the troubles and challenges and whatever with the old with the old routes that have been tried, right? American tried from JFK, Delta tried from Detroit and Seattle, if I remember correctly. United was late to the game, but picked San Francisco and stuck with it. But I feel like a lot of those sort of old problems that the airlines had wouldn't have been so bad if they had decent flight times.
But that was the Japanese government though imposing those.
It was a bilateral agreement.
But the thing, for instance, Delta, right? Are we really going to blame it on the flight times, or are we really going to blame it on the fact that they can't do onward traffic? Right? They push and that's the thing, right? With Delta, I think they have a little bit of a stigma going into this round because they keep running routes, then abandoning them.
Yeah.
But and I think it's also kind of like a circle argument for them because, okay, you could just keep your flights to Narita and then you get your onward traffic because you've got a ton of connecting flights there. So claiming that you need more slots at Haneda to feed the O&D traffic there is, I think it's circular logic. Like it's
right, but if for the people that are going O&D, they would rather fly to Haneda in most cases. It is. I mean, if it's O&D traffic and going to Tokyo City Center and not somewhere out east or north of town towards Narita, it really is much more convenient to land at Haneda during the day.
Yeah, so then why do you need more than, say, maybe 1 or 2 slots like everybody else has got? If it's all because you can feed everybody through whatever that one flight is.
Okay, sure.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying from a feed perspective. I think the argument would be, well, yeah, we want to feed it that way, but we have demand from multiple places. Now, the weird part about that is how much of it is onward past Tokyo and how much of it is onward at this end, at the U.S. end.
Yeah.
How much of it is Duluth or Macon or Mobile or Orlando or whatever other random cities I can think of that connect through versus, onward to mainland China or Southeast Asia or random domestic. I mean, right. Delta doesn't have a ton of onward capacity on its own metal, even out of Narita today. There are some flights, but it's not a massive, I don't know. I don't think it's massive. It's not small, but it's not a massive onward operation. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but they do have partnerships in China. So I don't completely buy their argument that they need 3 slots at Haneda. Like not sure I buy the whole thing.
The argument is of 12 total, if they only have 2, and then Star Alliance and One World split the other 10, or 1 and they split the other 11, that is terribly imbalanced.
But what service are they proposing with those 3 slots? I didn't see that.
First choice is Los Angeles, which they currently operate today as a nighttime operation. Second choice is Minneapolis. And third choice is Atlanta.
And that would be the question. How much O&D traffic is there between Minneapolis and Atlanta to Tokyo?
Yeah.
I mean, New York would be a better option where there's a much larger financial sector. I mean, there are other options, and I'm surprised they didn't go with JFK to use that as an excuse.
I am surprised that JFK was not a choice for either American or Delta also. I think some people are saying they expect that JAL or ANA will try JFK. So that's why American didn't.
Right, but
I don't think it explains why Delta didn't.
Right, and I think that might weigh into the argument. Right, if you're gonna just push traffic for connecting purposes, why does it need to be Haneda? Keep them at Narita, where you already have all sorts of rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're connecting people to Tokyo, not past it, right? So if you want to get the 300 people a day who you can carry into Tokyo, why wouldn't you want to put them into Haneda if you can?
But I think there's actually a bunch of flights out of Tokyo. I mean, there's still 4 or 5 different destinations that they can't serve nonstop, at least.
Yeah, they do. They have Manila, they have Guam, they have Singapore,
Bangkok.
There's Bangkok.
The Saipan. There's a few others.
That's a fair bit of flights, onward flights.
Yeah. So and you need to feed those.
Yeah.
All right. So this comes back to their complaint of if this is like sort of we're taking our ball and going home. We want all the slots. Argument.
Yeah. And the question is, I mean, that's the thing, right? What are they're going to have to fly a 777 from Atlanta. They can probably do a 332 from Minneapolis and a 76 from LA or 330. So the planes are going to be smaller as well versus what United and American are putting on them.
Well, I mean, United's going to have a 789.
Which is the size of a 777.
Yep. So in part of this, United has said we'd like to start in Newark, Haneda, right? That was the other one. I think that's a good move for United. I think it's smart. I think, of all of them that make the most sense that are new, that one makes the most sense, connecting New York to basically downtown Tokyo.
I agree.
So I think we're all kind of pulling for that one to go through because it would be nice, but not sure it will with Delta's persistence. I don't know if I understand Delta's Atlanta feed, but that's a different discussion. Like what they're going to do with that. I'm not sure I get it completely, but the
well, I think that look at it the other way. They're probably trying to pull people out of Tokyo more than pulling people into Tokyo.
Yeah. And then didn't Hawaiian have some interesting stuff? They were going to move slots around, doing like a one time or a once a week to Maui or something to Haneda.
Kona.
Oh wow, that's even more random.
Yeah, 3 times weekly to Kona, 4 times weekly to Honolulu with the second slot if they get it. And they, as a third choice, said if they can't get that as daytime, they would take it as nighttime.
Oh well, aren't they gracious?
As far as I know, they're the only ones that specifically said we will accept a nighttime slot.
Yeah,
which I think increases their odds of getting one.
Because I mean, leaving Honolulu at midnight, let's say, gets you in to Tokyo around what time you think? Like 10 p.m.
No, it was. I've taken it. I want to say it was like a 6 or 7 p.m. departure that lands at 6 a.m. Tokyo time.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Maybe
that's not.
Is that possible? And then it turns right around.
Same. Yes, it would be next day.
I'll pull up a timetable while we're talking here, but I think it's like a late afternoon departure that ends up landing in the middle. That ends up landing early morning and then comes back middle of the night.
Yeah.
Or mid morning that lands sort of night before.
So I wonder, did Delta pull out their threats of getting rid of some of the other random Narita flights like Portland?
To answer the earlier question, if you leave at 9:45 a.m. Honolulu time, you arrive at 1:25 p.m. the next day. So it's a 9-hour flight time, and then the flight.
Is that based on the filing or what's currently available?
What's currently available.
I thought that had to be a night slot.
No. I'm just saying how the flight time. I'm not saying.
Oh.
So do the math based on that. I looked at Honolulu Narita, what the runtime is.
Gotcha.
So if you.
I'm just looking at what it's actually published at. It departs at 17:50 and lands 22:05 plus 1.
Okay.
Which is a 9-hour minus the time differences and all. So yeah. So you do land late at night.
Yeah.
But it's a late evening departure that 9 hours later lands still that same night.
It's a little bit of a rough flight, but not terrible. I mean, if your destination's Tokyo, that's not bad.
Yeah. And it is, from a lot of them, or a short onward domestic connection.
Yeah.
And then the return leaves at 2300 and gets in at 11:30 or 12:30.
Yeah. But back to my question, did you guys know if Delta killed their threats of getting rid of Portland, Tokyo, and...
In the filing, they acknowledged that they could have applied for all 6, but they were being magnanimous and willing to share by only taking half.
Oh.
I don't think that they've fully backed off of if we don't get all the Haneda slots, we're just going to not fly to Japan anymore because that was stupid. I don't think they're fully still standing by that because that was stupid, but I don't think they've formally also said, of course, we're going to keep all of our service. It's a very much we'll have to evaluate the business situation once the decisions are made.
Yeah.
Right. The Portland service is not subsidized, though, right? I feel like some of the Europe was, but Tokyo wasn't.
Yeah. So I think the subsidy's over. It was subsidized for a while, and then it ended. So I don't think it's subsidized anymore.
Yeah, and there was, someone was saying you get decent Nike traffic going there, which I don't completely understand, but...
There's a big Nike office in Tokyo.
Okay, then that would explain why that's happening.
And onward into Southeast Asia.
So for factories and such.
Yep.
Yeah, so that doesn't surprise me too much, but it's interesting to me that Minneapolis is one of the cities that they specifically said they might have to cut service if they can't get Haneda slots, and that's the one that they've chosen for their Haneda service.
Yeah. Well, and see, they don't even run Portland Tokyo daily anymore.
Really?
It's down to I think 3 times weekly. Four times weekly. So I don't know if it's hurting or if Delta's just not managing it well. Or they're trying to feed everybody up to Seattle. So I don't know what the plan is there.
It could be aircrafts as well. Because they like to rotate the aircrafts to do additional routes.
Yeah, just random dartboard stuff.
Exactly. Saint Helena and Narita.
Oh yeah.
Or Haneda.
Speaking of other dots, Saint Helena is actually set to open. I think
it is open.
I think it's set to open passenger traffic May 21st. They're actually the first flight May 21st of this year. But it's open. They did the first test flight with a 737 from Comair, aka British Airways, from Johannesburg.
Yeah, and there's actually they're supposed to do a tour flight from London via one of the West African cities also.
Yeah, interesting.
Someone shared something and it's a 2-week tour. Or you can say for a weekend or a 1-week tour, the plane's going to go down, switch crews in Africa, fly through to St. Helena, and then the next day fly back and then fly back. And then a week later do the same thing. So people in St. Helena can come up and visit, and people in London can go down and visit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just picking back up, sorry, Portland Narita is 5x weekly right now.
Oh, well, it was down to 3 or 4 not too long ago.
Yeah,
so
it's maybe seasonal, but anyway, the St. Helena thing, and someone posted that something about a prize to win a trip on that one flight from London, and was questioning whether being forced to spend a week in St. Helena was considered a prize or a punishment. So,
I actually watched there's a show called Global Trekker. It's kind of a cheesy public broadcasting travel show, and the guy went to St. Helena via boat. And there was nothing there. Like, there's like 3 things to see. There's maybe 20 cars. It's not much there. So I don't know what you would do for a week, because it's not like the beach. It's not like a beach destination or anything. It's just kind of rocky and deserted.
Well, weren't you saying earlier that you just like to check out and disappear?
Oh, that would be, yeah, that's true. I could do that. Just completely just cut off from the world. It'd be nice. So, I mean, I could go up and visit where now I forgot his name. Napoleon. Jeez Louise, I'm having a hard time. What's that?
Wait, was he sent to St. Helena?
Yes.
Okay, all I remember is Elba.
Yep, there's a house there. We talked about this on the previous show. There's a house there that he lived in as a prisoner. So, yeah, kind of cool though. I would love to do the flight. I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Do we know what the schedule's going to be out of Johannesburg yet, or have they not announced that?
I thought they had. I guess like Saturday service, out in the morning, gets there midday and turns around that night, kind of thing.
Oh, so you could do like a couple of days there or something, or like.
Oh, it's weekly.
Oh, so you have to do a week.
I think you have to, yeah. Wow, my timetable doesn't support St. Helena yet. I'm going to have to add that to the database. Oops.
Yeah, I'm interested to know, because I would do it. I just don't know if I want to spend a week in St. Helena, because it's not like you can take a boat somewhere else, So
No. Well, I mean, if you had a week.
You could take it back to Johannesburg.
Yeah, basically.
Lines. So Atlanta-Brussels. Delta is, after the Brussels bombing, Delta suspended the service, and they've now announced it's going to be suspended until March of next year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's hard to imagine. I mean, was that just not a route that they were pushing a lot of traffic on? And
I think it was weak anyways, but with the challenges, yeah.
Yeah.
No onward traffic from there.
True.
ITA can't find HLE either, so it's not just my database.
They haven't even loaded it yet.
It's HLE or HEL? Am I doing it wrong?
HLE, I thought, is what I saw the code was.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the other one is...
because HEL is Helsinki, because I'm a moron. Sorry.
It's Monday, man. We're recording this on a Monday. We should just stop doing that. Just do it on a Tuesday, just to get over the jitters. JFK Istanbul is also canceled, and that's canceled forever. I mean, they've kind of said we're not bringing it back, right?
Yeah.
And you had a post about this, and I thought your response was quite appropriate. That the security situation, Delta quotes the security situation in Istanbul or in Turkey as the reason for canceling it, and that's kind of a weak reason, because the security situation is not great, but it's not terrible in Turkey. But more, it's the unknown of what's going on in Turkey that's the scary part, right? Like, that's like information's not getting out of Turkey.
Yeah, that's weird to me. It's just it's bad.
Yeah, and so it's not like oh, I feel threatened, but I don't know if I'm comfortable because I don't know what's going on. Like that's really the key there. And so which is sad, but
the other thing to keep in mind, that route was probably predominantly leisure. Yeah. Right, and very little business, if anything. And so, in situations like this, we know leisure traffic drops off the cliff. And when Turkish has, I think, is it still 4 flights a day from JFK?
3,
yeah. It's still, you're still really fighting an incumbent.
It's 3 by 330s in the winter and 3 by 77Ws in the summer. It's a massive amount of capacity.
Wow, they don't have any 777s in the winter now.
When I checked, when I was writing the story that week, which was April something, it was 330s. But also, they have onward feed to 100 some odd other countries out the other side.
Yep.
So, right, in some ways, Delta could just call them a Middle Eastern carrier, except I don't know if they found the subsidies yet. I made air quotes, don't worry. So, yeah, it's Delta's had real competition show up on that route, couldn't fill it with O&D, or even, connecting from the U.S. To Turkey. And Turkish has added nonstops to a bunch of other cities that, including, I think Atlanta's coming this summer, right? So
yeah, I think Atlanta's on the horizon, so that's another reason.
So right, it's the same sort of story where Delta, could route people from a bunch of cities around the country through to JFK and then onward, and now people in all those other cities, a lot of them get nonstop service on Turkish, just like with the big 3 in the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, they run some really random routes. Delta does, like JFK Prague. I didn't even know that existed. And
It's been around for a long time.
yeah, I had no idea. And then someone told me that's like upgrade. It's an easy upgrade if you're SkyTeam Elite. Like they just op up people because I guess they don't fill it. So,
Or they oversell Coach.
yeah, or they oversell sell Coach so much. But just things like that though. Like if Czech Airlines was to make a triumphant return, would they kill that service because all of a sudden Czech Airlines offers Chicago, Prague, and
Well, the question would become how much of it is codeshare / JV partners versus
Right.
competitive.
yeah.
Right, they are SkyTeam partners, so
True. So I guess they're taking that feed from Prague because Czech Airlines does still operate in Prague. It's just not internationally. It's like,
On their 310.
that 310 with the ghetto business class.
yeah. Well, they
Oh, it's a
operate. Well, they also operate some 320s. I think now I saw some 320s there while we were there. So, so I don't know. I think it's kind of sad to see JFK Istanbul go on a. I'm surprised that Delta's presence at JFK is kind of shrinking a little bit. Like the number of routes and stuff is shrinking. I thought they really wanted to play JFK up, but I guess not.
Well, I mean, they must need to start decommissioning some of those 767s. So they must have to start thinning some of the things down until they get, the $7 million 777s.
Yeah. Mint expansion. What's this all about, Seth? You got the inside scoop.
I did. We're getting.
And you paid for it, by the way.
Hey, listen, well worth it. JetBlue announced a couple weeks ago that it's going to expand Mint, its premium product, on the 321s. They're adding 7 new routes, I think, above and beyond what was previously announced. So it will be Boston and JFK to San Diego and to Seattle, and then Las Vegas to JFK and Fort Lauderdale to Los Angeles and San Francisco.
Wow.
And it's basically, if you look at the routes, Vegas JFK is going after either Delta or Virgin America. Seattle is going after Alaska Airlines. The San Diego is going after Alaska Airlines. And Fort Lauderdale to San Francisco or Los Angeles is going after Virgin America. So this is fine. We didn't win the grand prize for the merger with Virgin America. We'll just up our own product and take all the high value customers that you guys thought you were going to bring over to Alaska who are pissed or worried or confused about what's next.
And the leisure traffic that goes between those two.
Yeah, and some leisure traffic too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this changes. These aren't new routes for JetBlue. They're all routes that exist.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really change the product for core very much. Slightly nicer TVs on the Mint planes, but by next year when a lot of this happens, most of the 320s will be in their upgrade process anyway, so they'll be getting the new seats and new TVs also. Yeah.
Do they have better Wi-Fi on the Mint planes than on?
Nope. Same kit.
Same kit. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it makes a lot of sense what they're doing. I mean, they're kind of just like directly targeting some of the premium carriers on those routes, or non-low cost carriers, I should say. Because we didn't really even talk. Did we talk about the merger, the Alaska Virgin merger? I can't remember. We kind of mentioned it. Right?
We did.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what Alaska's going to do, what their plan is, but they're not competitive with anybody on transcon routes, right? I mean, as far as premium product, even with the Virgin merger. So JetBlue's kind of saying, "Hey, we'll play with you. We'll challenge you on those routes."
Yeah. Wow. This is did breaking news.
Really? What happened?
Earlier this afternoon, Gail Grimmett, who was the Delta vice president for New York, has left the company. She's now the president of Zell Travel Group, TZELL.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, travel agency.
Yeah.
That's a big move and somewhat of a strange one to me. Yeah, interesting. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So I mean, I think what JetBlue's doing is really challenging. Targeted Alaska. That's what this is about.
Yeah, it's targeting the merged company and trying to pick off high value and build up where it can. Build from strength. It's a spectacular product. I've never been shy about saying that, having flown it twice. I'm actually flying it tomorrow in coach for the first time, and will longingly stare from the first row of coach up into the forward cabin, wishing for my my special mint lime lemonade whatever drink and whatnot. But it's a really nice product, and I think that if they can keep the prices right, they'll be able to attract a decent chunk of the people that were paying for premium cabins in those markets for other airlines.
Yeah. You sent a link actually, Seth, to me.
Yeah, I'll make sure you saw that.
Elite Airways. This fits into lines.
Yes.
Is starting some new routes. Islip to Orlando, Melbourne. Islip to.
Which, can we stop calling it Orlando, Melbourne? Because really, it's just Melbourne.
Yeah, but I think it confuses people. Like they're like Melbourne, Australia.
Well, as opposed to calling it Orlando, Melbourne, when it's an hour and a half away, hour away.
So we just call it Melbourne, Florida?
Melbourne, Florida.
There
yeah,
we
I think
go.
that's where it actually is, so maybe.
Okay, Melbourne, Florida. All right. Islip, Myrtle Beach. Islip, Portland, Maine. And Bar Harbor, Portland, Maine. Oh,
yeah,
and
so the Portland service will just continue onto Bar Harbor, and this is the only jet service at Bar Harbor now.
Wow. I'd never even heard of Elite Airways.
If I remember correctly, they're like 737s, usually charter ops.
Oh, are they the red and white ones? Let me look this up. I've seen them a few times, I think.
I didn't check that detail, but yeah, it's interesting, like summer seasonal Islip to Maine, which I guess is, from a leisure perspective, actually reasonable.
Well, United
Sorry,
started.
they're not 737s. It's an RJ.
Yeah, because United's starting Newark, Bangor, Maine for the summer because of all the vacationers.
Yeah. These are the guys
restarting.
These guys are based in Melbourne. They were going to launch scheduled service before for something else. I swear I remember them from a previous episode or something.
You should totally go to their website and just like go to it the first time, and like if you go from Google, it takes you to some like holding page, and then it's like, please click here for reservations. And then it's like a normal website. Like
Great SEO right there.
I don't know if I would fly these guys if that was the. Oh man!
Bar Harbor, Rockford, Illinois to Fort Collins, Colorado.
They're based
Beach to Newark.
They're based in Portland, Maine.
Are they now?
Yeah.
Huh.
50 Portland Pier, Suite 300, Portland, Maine.
All right.
Man, they got some random routes, man. Oh, they were the red and white carrier. They fly to Houston to Branson. I have seen them. They are the one I was thinking of. They got like Naples, Florida to Newark. Come on.
And 121 is scheduled charter ops. Is that right? And 135 is regular commercial?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And they
crew training, maintenance, sales, and marketing are in Melbourne, Florida. That's why. So we're both right, Foz.
There we go.
Yeah, these guys have been around and tried to like randomly get stuff started a lot. They wanted to do Melbourne to Dulles. They were going to launch scheduled service Melbourne to Dulles as like a contractor special a few years ago.
Yeah, this is...
Though $99 to go to Bar Harbor is actually a steal of a deal, so especially in the summer.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these. I mean, they offer... Man, to Seth, you can do... Oh, this is awesome. You can do Naples, Florida to Newark with a one-stop in Vero Beach.
Yeah, so that means you get the Vero Beach to Naples route?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm going to have to go find that.
Could just be fun to collect some lines.
Yeah.
This is great.
Well, National Airways, which was supposed to start service from Islip to a couple of Puerto Rico destinations this summer, has suspended it because of lack of aircraft. So,
wow.
Win some, lose some.
Yeah, if you're into like, if you're one of our listeners and you're into kind of random lines and just like to fly kind of random routes, their Elite's route map is pretty sweet.
Elite Airway, I'm finally finding it. November 2012, Elite Airways announced that it was going to launch service in 2013 with a CRJ 200 running Melbourne to Dulles.
Oh man, great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Let's
find my story about it. Sorry.
That's okay. Let's talk destination. Foz, you're in Austin. Where are you staying in Austin?
At the downtown Westin. First time.
How is it?
It's actually a nice hotel. Nice location, 2 blocks from the convention center.
So it's on is it on the south side of the Colorado or the north side of the Colorado? North side.
It's gotta be north.
Yeah, it's on 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's on the north.
I'm trying to picture where it was. And the glass isn't falling out like it was at the W?
No, this is 1 block away from the residence in Courtyard Combo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just 1 block further to the north.
Oh, nice.
So far, nice hotel. Lobby's nice. People have been pleasant.
You're within walking distance of like one of my favorite coffee shops and one of my favorite Mexican restaurants.
Which ones?
So there is it's probably not great anymore. It's called Juan in a Million.
Okay.
And it's on East Cesar Chavez. Like one in a million, but with Juan as the name.
Juan.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a far walk for you, but it's got really good breakfast tacos. And the guy's name is Juan, and he sits there and he like greets you as you walk in. Really nice guy. And then there's a coffee shop. I have to look up the name of the coffee shop, but it's just on the other side near Cesar Chavez. So just on the other side of 35.
Oh, okay. So this is on the other side of 35. That's what I'm trying to figure out where it is.
Yeah, it's east of 35.
Okay.
So, but there's a lot of stuff. I mean, the only thing for me is I'm not a big fan of like 6th Street. So,
I much prefer 2nd Street.
Yeah,
it's much more low key, and it's funny because I actually haven't been in downtown Austin probably 3 or 4 years, and half the buildings I know aren't there anymore.
Yeah, it's just completely changed. Every time we go downtown, it's different. So.
The fact that there's a JW now.
High end, man.
I know, seriously.
If you have a car,
I do.
you should go for dinner to Foreign and Domestic.
Okay.
It's up on 20. Oh crap! Now I can't remember.
2222 or
No. It's closer in. It's on East 53rd, so it's just north Austin, like north downtown.
okay.
Great little restaurant. I know the chef, good guy. Recommend it to pretty much anyone who goes to Austin.
Tonight's dinner was Lupe tortillas.
Hey, that's not bad.
No, I love their fajitas.
There you go. As long as you like it, that's what matters.
That is true.
How long are you there for?
I'm here till Thursday, and then I will be joining Seth on Thursday evening before I head to Europe to go home.
Well, you're kind of at like the right season to be in Austin, right? I mean, it's April, still relatively not hot yet.
It's nice. I was wearing jeans today, and the sun came. Like this morning was overcast, it was lovely. The sun came out this afternoon. I'm like, ooh, and I started getting a little bit cooked, but it wasn't that bad.
A little humid.
I'm like, I wish I brought shorts.
Yeah. Anything you like to do there? I mean, what's your game plan for being in Austin?
I'm here for a conference, so it depends on how much I can escape from the conference. But I just like tooling around downtown. It's always just a lot of fun.
Do you do the bridge for the bats at night?
I haven't yet.
You're close enough you could walk to it.
I know. I might do it later this week. Clearly not tonight.
Yeah, I mean, because it's kind of the season for it, even though I think it's later in the summers when they really start coming out. But you should see some of them. But for those who don't know, the South Congress Bridge, which crosses the Colorado River, there's a colony of bats that live underneath it. And they come out at night, kind of like right at sunset, and fly out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I used to stay, I think it's a Doubletree just south of the...
Yep, it's right
on the bridge
corner.
there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah, I used to stay there when I was working in downtown. This is 10 years ago now, 11 years ago. But would walk the bridge to go to work in the morning. And it confused the hell out of everybody there.
That you were walking?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
I mean, I was going like across the river and then maybe 2 blocks up, and the office was right on Congress. So it was like shorter than my walk at home when I would go to work in New York. But they were so confused. They had like a shuttle bus, like minivan or whatever, and the guy was always there ready to pick me up. And eventually he learned who I was over time and didn't stop to try to like jump out and follow me and race out to his car when I was walking out the door. But if it was raining, I'd take the ride. But generally speaking, I would walk it, and they were so confused.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten better. Like people bike a lot more now in Austin. They've built some trails, but walking in general just is kind of foreign.
Apparently, there's a train, and I never knew.
Yeah, a light rail. Yeah, it goes up to where my wife's parents lived. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, it goes from downtown on like right by the convention center, and then kind of goes east, and then cuts up north and goes pretty much straight up north. Yeah.
I too had no idea.
Yeah. It stops running at like 7 p.m. though, 7 or 7:30 p.m. And so it's kind of useless if you want to like use it to go into downtown from like the suburbs, because it's already stopped running by the time you get there.
So it's like San Diego.
Yeah, it's just like San Diego. I swear, every time I walk down in downtown San Diego, unless I'm in the gas lamp, I feel like I'm the only person on the streets.
Because you probably are.
Except for the people that might rob me.
Well, yeah, you've got the street dwellers.
Yes,
but that's about it.
But I'm kind of used to that being in Portland, so like it doesn't really bother me. It's just kind of strange that the city is so quiet at night. So, do you do anything else? I mean, you rent a car, so you don't even though you're staying at the conference center area, you don't walk around. Do you? Where do you go?
I walk, but like I'm meeting some people up on outside of town and stuff, so I just like having the car for that.
Yeah. Yep. I like Austin. I think it's a cool city. It's growing very fast, but I like it a lot. It's
ridiculous the pace that it's growing at. But I mean, it's an awesome city. I've been coming here for probably over a decade at this point, if not longer, and I've always loved it.
Yeah, it's a great place. You gonna get some barbecue while you're there? Because
I went to the Ironworks today.
Oh, the Ironworks! Come on.
Because I was with coworkers and it's right there. I couldn't make it up to
Franklin.
Oh no, what's the other one?
Which one?
They're the one they have out in the middle of nowhere, and then there's one on 360 on Capitol.
Oh, the Salt Lick.
Salt Lick, yeah.
Yeah, you should go there, man. You should go to. There's a brewery that I really like now too. It's pretty far out. It's crap. Now, if I had prepared, I'm terrible.
If we only had a producer.
Jester King. It's the name of it's called Jester King. They make a bunch of really good beers, large format mostly, but I like them a lot. But they're kind of out in the middle. I mean, it's a ways out. So
large format is, and you have to buy them by the keg.
They're all like wine bottle size.
So they're 40s.
Yeah, you can't buy like just a regular bottle of beer or a can of beer. They're all big. So, but yeah, they got some good stuff.
Austin Beer Works, I think.
Austin Beer Works is really good too. Yeah,
really good, run by a friend of a friend. So I'm partial to them. And then they also sell most of their beer in mini kegs, also known as 12-ounce cans.
There's also a Delbert's. Delbert's is really good.
I do have to give a shout out to the airport. I was really skeptical about their consolidated rental car facility, but I'm pleased that you can at least walk to it, unlike every other godforsaken consolidated rental car facility where you have to take a bus.
Yeah, but then you have to do the drive. How's traffic?
But you look at San Diego, they just built this consolidated rental car facility, and this is one of my pet peeves, is where they build these, they put no automatic people mover, so you're still at the mercy of all the traffic.
True. Yeah.
And one of the things about San Diego used to be that it was across the street, you could walk, or the buses took 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And where
San Diego has the added bonus of having put it in and being nowhere close to the mass transit, whatever trolley line or whatnot they have, right?
Yeah, it's still a couple blocks from there, but it's not something you would schlep.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've walked it from the airport up into town before, but
I actually thought about doing that. Are you saying I shouldn't?
You can walk into town?
Yeah, I mean, I will walk to the airport from town. On the day I was leaving?
It's like 30 minutes. It's easy.
Yeah.
The sidewalks, or if you stay on the marina side, it's pretty and usually get a breeze.
Yeah.
Because I was already up in, the Little Italy area.
Yep.
And so I was like, I can just walk from here. And then I kind of looked at a map. I was like, it's a little far with my suitcase and everything.
You are very close to the edge of the airport, but the problem is you need to get to the opposite edge.
Oh.
Where the terminals are, right? So that's the challenge.
Runways are long, it turns out.
Yeah, that whole 10,000 feet thing,
I know details. 2 miles. That's nothing.
So we get some other stories real quick. Airbus in America. So the first A321, is it?
Yep.
Was rolled off the line today.
Yep.
And
delivered to JetBlue. It's the Bluesmobile is the name of it. All their airplanes have blue in the name, so yay. It did not drive through downtown Chicago, causing chaos and mayhem. So bummer in that context. But it's the first one came out today. American Airlines gets the next one, and then I think Spirit and American split the next 8 or so.
Oh, wow.
I think most is Spirit.
The 321's on Spirit. Yeah, that's the least.
They have a lot of seats.
Yeah, it's a lot of seats. It's
moo.
And then UA United is having a board shakeup, or had a board shakeup recently. I don't know much about this. I wasn't really paying attention. What's the news here?
They caved and replaced some of the board members, and I don't remember the exact details, but they did cave to the activist investors.
I think it's 3 new board members. One's one of the partners at one of the hedge funds. Another one I don't know. They're replacing the chairman with former Air Canada, Milton, I think is his last name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And a third new board director to be mutually agreed upon at a later time.
Interesting.
But there will not be a proxy fight at the annual meeting this year, so that's arguably good news. It's interesting that announcement came out right around the time of the earnings call for United this year or this quarter, and basically in the midst of all the discussion of this and that, there was also a number of the investment analysts are getting a little impatient, I'd say, and probably more than a little, with United and getting more aggressive in their questioning. One of them, was Hunter Key asked, is mediocrity sufficient? And Munoz acknowledged, well, that's a leading question. Gosh, thanks. But they're not particularly keen on waiting for action so much as, someone else asked is United too big for its own good and needs to be split up or have pieces divested.
Wow.
And there have been some people who have talked for a while about that there's too many hubs and too much of whatever. I think even after dropping Cleveland, there's some people think dropping Dulles is a good idea. So it was very interesting on the earnings call to hear how aggressive some of the questions are getting and how impatient the investment community is with the company at this point. And all Oscar said was, you're going to have to give me some time to actually fix things.
Do you think that Dulles is the right thing to drop and not LA?
I'm not sure that I would drop either of them, but if I had to choose,
if
I
you
would drop LA. I think, LA has greater O&D traffic, and arguably you want to keep the value proposition that is PS still.
Right, but you can keep PS without keeping it a hub.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love that work for JFK.
LA seems to be a race to the bottom right now.
Yeah.
I think for me, the thing with LA that throws me off is they've already kind of gutted LA as far as feed traffic to LA.
Right. Everything is basically O&D at this point.
Yeah, and so I don't really get it. I don't get what they're doing there. They've reduced flying so much they don't need the old terminal that they were in, so. It's
You mean talking about the gates in T6?
yeah, they don't use
All
those.
continental gates. Yeah.
They don't use those.
It was really the airport wanted the T6 back, and United wasn't using enough of it.
Yeah, and that's my point, though, is that they're not using it enough.
But at peak time, they still struggle with
Gates.
gate space, right?
Oh, yeah,
part of that's the alleyways are narrow, but part of it's like they are busy at peak times.
Yeah, LAWA was pissed at United for using all of Terminal 8 as nothing but a regional pier. And that's what that whole thing was about, which is why they wanted them out of 6. Which is why you see mainline jets going to Terminal 8 now. Because way back in the day, that used to be the Shuttle by United pier. When that went away, they started using it for regional jets and prop planes.
Yeah. I don't get LA from the perspective of your feed traffic for the big flights. You've got, Narita, Shanghai, Sydney, Melbourne. And you're feeding that with flights from, I guess, maybe San Francisco. They fly Vegas, Seattle, and a few other places. And that's your feed? Like,
San Diego, Tucson,
yeah.
Phoenix.
But, I mean, so it's still, though. I mean, how much of that traffic is really connecting to those flights?
Well, there's a ton of United traffic that comes out of San Diego to go through LA. I mean, no one's flying San Diego to LA, but they have, 10 flights a day?
Yeah.
With 50, 70 seats a day?
Yeah. I guess. I just don't know why we would have LA when you have San Francisco.
It's partially legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, they were incumbent there.
Yeah.
I mean, LA and Dulles both became hubs at the same time, back in 95 or so.
Yeah. I don't know. Dulles doesn't make a ton of sense anymore either, though, really.
Have you seen the regional lift in and out of Dulles?
No.
There's a ton of regional lift that goes in and out of Dulles, so it does make sense from that regards.
I would say it's still it's still a connecting flow hub for a lot of East Coast just stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of that regional is going to get upgauged in the coming months/years as the 73Gs come in and the 50-seaters are retired and sort of everything shifts around. There's still a decent volume of government traffic.
And speaking of 737s, Boeing is considering a new 737 model to kind of go after the A320neo, right?
Yeah, this is Wall Street Journal got the story last week, I think. The MAX 7 may get renamed the MAX 7X or something like that because we need more idiocy in aircraft names. And they're going to add basically, I guess, 24 seats.
So it'll be a 738.
Well, no, because the 738s, it will be a typical configuration of 162 seats as opposed to 150 for the 7X. I think it's way too close to the same size, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But
what do we know?
It's basically a 738 wing with a slightly shorter fuselage, and very slightly.
Yeah.
And even though United has a bunch of classic 73Gs on order, apparently it has some sway over changing the product to become the 73 MAX 7X because of those orders or something.
Could it have anything to do with short field performance or anything?
Could, I suppose. I mean, the bigger wings would be nice for that kind of thing.
Right.
If the engines have the right, punch.
Because in Central America, that would be an ideal plane where they need the short field performance.
For hot and high.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll start Orange County to Hawaii again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They still haven't talked about what they're going to do with the 752s for transatlantic stuff.
They don't know.
I mean,
replacing them?
Yeah.
There's no option right now. So what are they supposed to announce? We still don't have anything.
Well, I'm just saying, you have end of life of those planes at some point, right?
Yeah.
And it's coming. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. So
yeah,
might want to get on that a little bit. I don't know, just an idea.
Mini hub in Gander.
737 refueling station.
It'll be a scissor hub like Dakar.
Oh, you just got to have enough people there. You have to have enough staff there to handle all the cancellations. So.
Ouch.
One hotel in town.
Build their own new hotel to support it.
Yeah, and this is why they don't let me on the analyst calls. So, and then there's Richard Branson talking about bringing back Virgin America after it's gone. What?
He made some comment that the brand was very important and alluded to the fact if Alaska didn't do it right by them, they would bring it back, and I don't know why.
Well, I don't know. I've heard that, he had some true sadness expressed over the loss of this one for whatever reason. He seems really broken up by it. And, one person I saw suggested, because he finally had one that was successful.
Okay.
It is finally profitable, although certainly hasn't earned back all the money invested in it yet. Obviously, with the buyout, it would have. I don't know. I've seen some interesting comments, but none of it makes any sense to me. Truly saddened I wish I could stop it. There were some bold statements from a guy who's about to get paid a whole lot of money for this deal.
Yeah, just to sell it. Yeah.
I guess on the flip side of that, it's unclear that he needs more money as opposed to, having this as his baby.
But he wasn't really involved in it, was he?
Well, he couldn't be because of the legal issues and foreign ownership, but his group, is a sizable stakeholder. I think he's got 10% of it or something.
Wow. I can't see it coming back, but more power to Branson, I guess.
And can you dip into that well again? Go find another group of guys with $1 billion to start up an airline. Hey, listen, we had this name, it was great. I'll license it out again, and we can just go all over again.
Yeah.
Wait, is that really any different than the multiple returns of Eastern or Pan Am?
No, it's not.
The
only difference is the amount of time in between.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like people love the name, so they keep thinking the name's going to carry them, but clearly the name did not carry them this time.
Yeah. It's also actually interesting, just thinking about that. I would have to wonder, because it is just a licensing thing, a name, right? They get the name by paying, like, 0.7% of revenue, or I think it's revenue, to the Virgin Group. And then there are certain other metrics about they have to do things a certain way. If they want him to show up at an inaugural, they have to pay him to be there, is my understanding.
Interesting.
So, there's a lot that goes, a lot of expense that goes into being a Virgin brand. So, on one hand, I kind of wonder, like, but because Virgin Group owns it, is there like a non-compete where they aren't allowed to start up another airline using the same name for X number of days, months, years?
Maybe they'll rebrand the combined airline to Virgin Alaska.
I would bet against that.
AlaskaVirgin.com.
Or Alaskan Virgin.
Alaskan Virgin. Oh, this is awful. Oh, man.
I'm going to be over here when you guys are ready to...
Right off the rails.
Yeah. There's... I don't see it coming back.
Yeah.
And it's hard for him because Virgin Australia is also struggling right now.
It's V Australia. It's not Virgin Australia.
Okay.
It's either Virgin Blue or V Australia, depending on which one you're talking about, because they couldn't use the name.
I thought they finally resolved that.
I don't think they did, because it was something to do with Singapore. Or maybe they did when Delta bought the Singapore stake.
No, it is Virgin Australia now.
Okay.
It was V Australia for a long time in Virgin Blue. They finally fixed that.
I didn't realize that. I missed that. Well, I learned something.
I think it's been a few years, but
So you guys are going to be in Vegas, and then Seth, are you traveling anywhere else?
I'm going to New Orleans and Mexico City and Puerto Vallarta.
Ooh,
that's a 10-day boondoggle. 2 weddings on back-to-back weekends, and it was a little bit of, we're already halfway to Mexico. Why would we come home instead of just keep on going?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I got Hamburg and Dublin a couple weeks after that for some work stuff. Going to go visit Airbus, and IATA has its annual general meeting. Do that. Iceland and the Faroe Islands later this summer.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, definitely. And then Foz, you're heading over the pond to head home from Vegas.
Yes.
Is this another Oslo ticket?
It is another Oslo ticket. How did you know?
Shocking. Have you bought any other destinations lately?
Yes, I just bought a couple Amsterdam tickets.
With the summer sale?
Yeah.
Is that still going?
I think it might be over.
Okay.
But no, I had to find a way to get home from Vegas, and I was telling Steven this, and it was like $300-something for Vegas, Newark, and I had unused ticket for Oslo, so I returned to Oslo, so I called and asked, and with the change fee and the difference in fare, it's like $240. So it was actually cheaper to go all the way to Oslo.
Well, except for the part where then you have to buy a ticket from Oslo back to New York, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to get to $3 million, so it's a small price to pay.
How close are you?
I'm past 2.8, so I like 190,000 or so.
You think you'll hit it this year?
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, this year would be hard. It would be hard to get another 180 in the 7 months we have left.
Yeah, I think it would require me to do 1 transcon a week.
Wow.
And I'm not doing that.
No?
For the record, no.
You could record this show from the air.
I'm not doing 1 transcon a week. Unless, of
Think
course...
of it this way, Foz. It's just, a trip to Australia every 2.5 weeks.
Oh, dear God, no.
Oh, well, guys, I think that's the show.
Mumbai every 3rd week?
Hong Kong, Mumbai. Yeah, I think it might be run into next year.
I'd say that's the smart move.
Yeah.
For sanity and health.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want to be our dear friend who did 3 back-to-back LA-Sydney runs via Honolulu.
Oh, gosh. No, thanks.
It was only a problem when he decided, got delusional enough that hijacking the golf cart was a good idea in the middle of the night, right? I mean, that was completely reasonable.
or halfway through the 3rd trip where he was passing out randomly.
Yeah, completely reasonable.
Details.
Yeah. No one's paying attention.
Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up the show, guys. listeners, you can follow us on Twitter at DotsLines. You can leave a comment on the website, moredotsmorelines.com, or leave a review on iTunes. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.